Hi there, I'm Anubis. Today we're going to be discussing the difference between Hitless and Damageless in Armored Core, so you can title your videos appropriately. This is up for interpretation, so if you have a different opinion, please leave it down below. To start out, let's look at Team Hitless's definition for what a hit is versus damage. A hit is classified as a loss of health or a stagger caused by an enemy or trap. This includes attacks from enemies that deal no damage and also status effects such as poison that trigger on a player as a result of an enemy attack. Damage is considered any loss of health, including environmental damage, fall damage, etc. This includes attacks from enemies that deal damage, but also status effects such as poison that trigger on the player as a result of enemy attack or trap. These are broad definitions and need to be interpreted for each game. Let's look at Dark Souls as a reference to get a better idea of how the rules work. For Hitless, hits from player-triggered traps count. Environmental damage does not. Static features like lava, water, swamp, spikes, and campfires are fine. While fall damage does not count, a death from falling will. Blocking an enemy counts as a hit, but a perfect parry or deflect does not. For Damageless, blocking an enemy attack or projectile is allowed. Items, rings, etc. which boost players' HP temporarily and then goes back to initial HP are not considered as damage and are allowed. All other cases of lowering HP outside the above point are considered instances of damage. Based on these definitions, we can define what should and shouldn't be allowed in Armored Core 6 as far as Hitless and Damageless. For Hitless, any text next to your AP would be considered getting hit. This would be ricochet or the shield indication. Although most players would avoid taking a ricochet, it should theoretically be allowed in Damageless. The real distinction being made here is that pulse armor would be allowed for Damageless, but not in Hitless. This drastically changes the playstyle, as you are basically granted invulnerability, which allows you to rush your targets with your biggest threat being the time limit. Although pulse protection is similar, it works more as deployable cover, and doesn't stay attached to the player's character. Missions like Tunnel Sabotage, where you take environmental damage from the coral, are not considered hits or damage. The only theoretical way to avoid it would be a major glitch that would defeat the purpose of the run. Instead, it is easier to keep track if you took damage from an enemy, as a coral ticks down at 50 HP each time. In general, game or AI breaking glitches are not permitted, however AI manipulation is. As an example, finding a way to enter a boss fight and have the boss not activate, or dealing damage to the boss from outside the arena would not be allowed. On the contrary, finding an area where the boss will ignore you and using it to your advantage is permitted. These rules should clarify the difference between what different players set out to do. I am working on a new game Hitless playthrough. That means arena fights need to be completed for OST, and training mission rewards have to be planned out and executed during the run. The run may appear boring to some, and that's okay. The run is about consistency and execution. We have already completed Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 5. Chapter 3 is down to 1 hit, so we're getting really close. The Red Comet at Rubicon has done an outstanding job doing damageless S-rank clears of every single mission in the game. Incredibly fast, aggressively optimized, and executed with exceptional precision. Their showcase demonstrate a level of mechanical control that make each run genuinely thrilling to watch. Their style is finely tuned for high-intensity single-mission execution, where pushing absolute speed and pressure creates spectacular results. Another player on a similar journey is Sky Kaiser. They have recently been putting out damageless/hitless missions, and I'm excited to see their future. Another player who doesn't want to be in the spotlight, but I'm going to throw him in anyways, is Katu Dogu. The man is a wealth of knowledge, and I'm convinced he has more knowledge about the game than some of the programmers. He does stuff like this, and this, and this. The running joke is that his challenges add so many restrictions that you won't be able to see what's even in the thumbnail. I highly suggest checking out all these players' YouTube channels. I will link them down below. Let's be real, Armored Core 6 is a difficult game to do damageless or hitless. Distinction or not, pulling off either for checkpoints or missions are a feat of their own that need to be celebrated. Thanks for watching.